What's up? It's your boy Carcino here. Don't forget to follow the playlist, man. We got a whole bunch of those truth behinds, and then we got the top 5 hip hop playlist too. So we're gonna keep it coming. And this is the truth behind the beef between Dipset and Junior Mafia. Everybody's been asking about this. And I'm sitting there as I'm watching these people request this stuff. I'm like, nobody's talked about this? I mean, I've seen the video. I mean, it's really... Well, then I looked at it and I said, well, yeah, it's nothing hip-hop worthy. It ain't no songs. Everybody dissing each other, going back on records. You ain't gonna hear none of that. So, I guess I can shed some light to the subject. This goes back to the Puffy No Way Out tour. Mace is at the top of his game, and through Mace's notoriety, even though Cam was basically out, he out there making music, and nobody really knows these dudes, man. They just Mace's buddies. So they rated hard right now. Cam, you got All About the Benjamins, and I think the show came to New York or someplace on the East Coast. But anyway, Jimmy was at one of the shows with Mace and Cam and the rest of them there, and it was some type of stare that he got from like Junior Mafia them, and the way they was talking down to them. They felt disrespected that way, but no words was exchanged. But they didn't like each other. They didn't want to mesh with them. Cam didn't really like them either. So, if Cam didn't like it and didn't feel a certain way about it, they really felt a certain way about it. The rest of the crew. So they kind of just stayed in one section and didn't really mesh with anybody. Period. So, that time is over. Tour is done. Next thing you know, you got what was they doing? A video shoot. I don't forgot who video it was, and some words were exchanged between one of the members that's Junior Mafia, like not a rap dude, but one of their homies, and Jim Jones. So Jimmy and him got into a fist fight. Jimmy had some type of object trying to stab homie with it or something, and that altercation got separated, and it broke up, and crews went their way. Then another altercation happened inside the tunnel. They in there. This is what really just was like the last straw. They were in the tunnel, and when they came out the bathroom, like one of the dudes just bumped into him. It just by happenstance. It just happened to be Jimmy and one of the dudes, and Jimmy just got Jimmy on him. When he bumped into him, it was like, dude, you got a stumbling problem? You got a walking problem? Huh, son, you got a walking problem? Huh, you can't handle your liquor? And once he did that and he muffed dude's head, he didn't know who he touched. But whoever he touched and talked to was definitely not the guy he should have been talking to. Now, Jimmy was deep with dudes, too. They was in there, too, about right, 5, 6, something. But when he did that, he did not know who the guy was, and D-Rock stepped up and was like, you talking to me? Because if you talking to him, you talking to me. So once that came in there, then Jimmy went like, dude, 2 for 1, homie. So once all that crap got macho talk going back and forth, it was about to go down after see me outside. No, we leaving now. Let's go, all of us. They ready to get it on. Now, Lil C's, all them, they weren't even there. Like the rap dudes, this is Gunna, Rock, this is the street Junior Mafia. They there. So they outside waiting to get to Jimmy and the rest of them. I don't know what happened. They were like ninjas. They just vanished in thin air. it was like, man, where they at? Because they was ready to get it on. Like, forget all this talking. It's shutdown time. Because that's when, what's his name just left. And was like, I'm done with this. No more talking. He went around the corner. When they all left, they went around the corner, popped the truck. Ugh, everybody got weapons. They was ready to go. It was going down when they came out the club. Somehow they mysteriously vanished. No trace of them, no nothing. So months go past. No words, no nothing. All of a sudden, TNT is broadcasting. They're filming this show where they got Allen Iverson. They got all the stars up here at the basketball court in Rutgers Park on hollow ground. They're getting ready to film this great documentary about the sport and how it's all these celebrities that came there. They got Dr. J. They got everybody at this function. And sure enough, while they're shooting, doing these shoots, word goes back that, hey, them dudes is there that we were headed to in the club. They right there and they feeling cocky. They in here talking like, yeah, you was the one in the club. Yeah, where your homies at? Yeah, you was popping that noise up in the club. Yeah. So they saw one of the homies from Junior Mafia. So, naturally, he was like, didn't say nothing, just kept watching the game. And they was popping, talking to him. Next thing you know, you see a wave of Junior Mafia just flood. Brooklyn was definitely in the house. Flooding. As Gutter wants to get his hands on him. D-Rock. They coming for Jimmy. That's all they wanted. Was Jimmy. He was the one that had all the mouth. He was the one they wanted to get. Nobody else. Cameron wasn't even involved. Cam wasn't even in the club when that kicked off. And he wasn't even at the tunnel. So this had nothing to do with him. They wasn't worried about him one bit. But if you trying to aim Jimmy, you gon' get it. Jimmy had to get his mouth swole for all this tough talk. So the rest you saw on the video, how they all scurried and got out of there. When the Mafia, they really came to get him. Now, a week later, allegedly, they came back and they had guns and they looking, they trying to, save face. But the damage was done. It was done and over with. So, they got everything squashed. Everything was supposedly squashed and handled behind the scenes like we all good. He just had to get his mouth swollen. If you want to take it to somewhere else, you want to keep it going, we can do it. But other than that, just keep my name out your mouth. So, it was done. So now you know what happened. And I'm out.